generating, and I'm sure he usable, spendable cash, but he was able to accumulate more and more and more Bitcoin. What started off at $500 a Bitcoin for myself, and he joined me about the same time buying some Bitcoin. So he's probably in that range also initially. Bitcoin had gotten up to that point to about 20,000 Bitcoin. And at that point, he was a multimillionaire. Okay. So we're going to leverage Flare. Some pundits are saying Flare will get to 40,000 a Flare. I don't know if it will ever get that high or not. But I will say that our vision here at Billion Dollar Mind is for every person that adopts this generational wealth model, we want to help you accumulate no less than, and I think this is conservative, especially since we're just starting out, no less than 1 million Flare. Now, that's after you have turned whatever Flare you needed to into usable, spendable cash to take care of your today and tomorrow. Okay. 1 million Flare, even if Flare never gets to 40,000, but it gets to 4, that's 4 million in value. Hate 1 million Flare if it never gets to 40,000, but it gets to 40. That's $40 million in value. Now, I've been in this industry for 30 years. I've done very well in this industry. I've made millions in this industry, but I've never been with one company that, with the model it has, as well as the asset that we're leveraging, that I could actually sit back. When John told me Billion Dollar Mind, I tried to talk him out of the name. He'll tell you, I tried to talk him out of the name. I'm thinking Billion Dollar Mind, $1 billion. The more I come to these Zooms, the more I see the potential with Flare. Yeah, I can see $1 billion. So let's show you this generational wealth model. Okay. We have a donation plan. We are utilizing scriptural principles. And here is the universal law. Here's a principle. We reap what we sow. Pastor Henry, but we got to sow to reap. Number 2. Number 3, when we reap so much more than what we sow. So here's the donation plan highlights. Number 1, no monthly subscription. So nobody's got a new bill. Number 2, we have low, medium, and high ticket donation packages. So you're going to make a donation to someone that you're connected to. Okay. Now, do you have to break the bank? No. We've got donation packages as little as $10 in Flare. Now, I will try to remember to say in Flare. If I say $10 or $20,000, no, it's going to be in Flare. Flare goes into our system. Flare is going to come out of our system. And if you know little to nothing about cryptocurrency, don't worry about that. We've got your back. We've got videos that you can watch to purchase Flare, to purchase cryptocurrency, purchase Flare, where to store it, and all that good stuff. Okay. But we also have medium and high ticket donation packages. All right. Now, this is a big one. Again, been in this industry for 30 years. I've seen tons of comp plans. I've been a part owner of a company in this industry. I've helped design compensation plans. One of the things that's a challenge for folks in this industry, particularly if you're in the structure where you can refer and build I call it a sales team, is usually a company. Let's say if I'm promoting a nutritional company, great product, okay? But the company has to manufacture that product or have the product manufactured. So they can't pay but so much because they've got to pay for the manufacturing and all the other stuff that goes with running a company. So usually in this space, you're going to get a 35 to maybe a 40% payout. 1, 2, you're going to get that 35 to 40%, the 50% payout diluted. So if you're in a structure, for instance, that pays 6 people when a product is purchased or sold, okay, well, then that lower payout, 35 to 40% versus 80, has to get divvied up amongst 5, 6, 7, 8 people. So the challenge that most people have had in this industry, let's call them Joe and Susie average, is they haven't made enough money when someone transacted for it to make any for it to be positively impactful. And if there's a monthly subscription tied to it, in many cases, people don't make enough money to even cover the monthly subscription. So it becomes a new bill and then they ultimately quit. Okay. Well, how do we look to solve that? We've got an 80% payout, no monthly subscription, 80% payout that goes to one person. And so we'll talk about what that could look like in a few moments. Okay. Unlimited width and unlimited depth payouts. You'll see what that means in a moment. That's a really big deal. Single payouts can be as low as $8 because of a low ticket. All right. A $10 donation coming to you. 80% of that would go to you. 20% would stay with the company to run the company. Okay. You would get $8. But then we have donation packages as high as 20,000. And the plan is to get every single one of you qualified in time where you, when someone makes a $20,000 donation to you, you get 16,000 paid to you in Flair. Okay. The beautiful part about this also is you don't have to wait to next week, next month, the 15th of the following month, which is so often happens in our industry. Somebody transacts business today on August, whatever the date is, the 6th, I believe it is, but they may not get a payout from that until next month on the 15th. All right. Not the case here. Someone makes a donation to you, your 80% payout is going to be in your back office immediately. And I showed that on screen today. I posted that in our Telegram room as we were doing a walkthrough video. Someone made a donation, and immediately that donation showed up in the back office of the person that referred them. Okay. So you can go and you can withdraw those withdrawable funds anytime you'd like. And it goes directly into your crypto wallet. It's basically your bank. Okay. All right. So now here are the donation options. There's a $10 donation. There's a $50 donation, 100. And notice that the blessing that goes to the person that you're connected to would be $8 on the $10 donation. The blessing that you would receive, let's say that you're qualified for the plan 50 and someone makes a donation to you at 50, you would get $40 in Flair. The plan 100, 80. Plan 250, 200. 80%, every single plan, 80%, 80%. Now, all of a sudden, when we get to plan 5,000, we're talking more of high ticket there. Plan 7,500, look at this. Let's say you're qualified for plan 7,500. Somebody connected to you makes a donation of 7,500. You get 6,000 paid to you in Flair, all the way through 20,000 donation packages. Okay. Now I'm going to come back at the end of what I'm sharing, and we're going to look at this to make sure you get how this will work. And something I've not seen in my 30 years in this industry, something that John was adamant about and had the programmers to program it, where even if you started off at a lower plan, but you brought on someone that did a higher plan, usually you would miss all of that payout. All right. Because you did 50 and they did 2,500 and you weren't qualified for that. Usually that $2,000 would be gone. And I'll share with you at the end, that's not how our system works. Okay. All right. So let's show you the structure. Let's show you the structure. Let's say you've got Sue here, and Sue comes and her faith is being, she's growing in her faith. She's realizing, hey, when somebody cut her off in traffic, she quickly realizes that she got into a negative space, and she immediately gets into gratitude to bring her back to a positive space because she doesn't want to give that person her power. All right. And so now all of a sudden, when circumstances happen, circumstances are still going to happen. She's starting to understand more about, I don't want to give up my peace, man. I want to be like Jesus in the bottom of that boat. There's a hurricane going on and the ship is being tossed, and he was down there fast asleep. Oh, I want peace like that. She's learning as she's coming to these Zooms, the live, the recorded. So she brings on Jorge. Okay. She refers Jorge, just like somebody referred Pastor Perry here tonight. She also refers Sasha and Becky and Paul and Rodney and Elizabeth. Okay. So they're coming to the Zooms, they're watching the recorded Zooms. We're building this community of people that want to become the best versions of themselves and are learning these pillars of faith and principles of faith and beginning to exercise these principles of faith. Now, let's put up the donation packages here. Okay. And I'm going to assume in this example that Susan has gotten qualified for the 2,500 donation package. Maybe she came off the street and did 2,500. I think this is going to be a sweet spot. I think a lot of people will go here to start. Others will start. Listen, raise your right hand and promise you're not going to hurt your family. Okay. So you're not going to take bill money to donate. You're not going to do that. Okay. That's not your money. That's the bill money. Okay. You're not going to borrow money to donate. At the same time, you want to donate as much as your resources allow. And we suggest you look at your budget and you start with the donation package that makes the most sense for you. Let's say that Susan did 2,500. Okay. That means she's going to be qualified that if someone that is connected to her does 2,500, she would get that 2,000. That wouldn't be on hold at all. She'd be able to withdraw that immediately if she wanted to. Okay. So she brings on Jorge, and Jorge is the first person that does a donation. Okay. And let's say Jorge also does 2,500. That means that Sue's going to get 2,000. She brings on Sasha. Sasha is the second person that does a donation. This is where sowing and reaping comes into play. Okay. So Jorge's donation went to Sue. Sasha's donation is going to go upstream. Sasha's donation is going to go to the person that Sue is connected to. So Sasha is a seed. We reap what we sow. We have to sow to reap. But when we reap so much more than what we sow. She brings on Becky. Becky's donation is going to go to Sue. She brings on Paul. Paul's donation is also going upstream. So Sue's second and fourth are going to donate upstream. Now her fifth and her sixth and her seventh and 173rd and her 569th, they will all, fifth and beyond, will all donate to Sue. Okay. Now, this is where it really gets good. All right. So we've got Jorge over here, and Jorge refers his first person, his second person, his third person, his fourth person. Becky does the same in this example. Rodney does the same in this example. And Elizabeth does the same in this example. Let me show you what happens. Okay. The first person that Jorge refers that makes a donation, that donation goes to Jorge. The second person that comes aboard and makes a donation, that donation is going to Sue. Just like Sue sowed a seed of her second and fourth, So will Jorge. Jorge is going to sow a seed of his second and fourth. So his second and his fourth all donate to Sue. Becky's second and fourth donate to Sue. Rodney's second and fourth donate to Sue. Elizabeth's second and fourth donate to Sue. Now Jorge's fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth all donate to him. Becky's sixth, seventh, and eighth, and 19th and 172nd all donate to Becky. So just like you sowed a seed of your second and fourth, anyone connected to you sows a seed of their second and fourth, and those donations come to you. Now, what about Jorge's second person? Well, that person's second and fourth. And what about the fourth person? Their second and fourth. But it doesn't stop there. This person's second and fourth, second and fourth, second and fourth, second and fourth. What is the law of sowing and reaping? We reap what we sow. We got to sow to reap. In our plan, the second and fourth. But when we reap so much more than what we sow. And their second and fourth, and 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 second and fourth. Same thing over here with Becky, second and fourth. Same thing over here with Rodney, second and fourth, and their second and fourth, and their second and fourth. Same thing over here with Elizabeth and her second and fourth, and their second and fourth, and their second and fourth, to an unlimited debt. There could in time be hundreds, thousands of folks that are donating to you because you sold your second and fourth seed and they sold their second and fourth seed. And the system automatically does it. All right? The system automatically does it. Okay? Now, imagine in time, the whole plan is to get everybody to where they are qualified for every one of these donations. So whether you start at $10, all right? Now, I want to go and I want to talk about that part of that John implemented. I've not seen this in my 30 years in this industry. So there's going to be people that, even though this is the sweet spot, that's not within their realm right now. And John wanted to make sure that this person doesn't miss out. So let's say that a person came aboard and this is what was comfortable for them, $10, okay? But the person that brought on Sue, all right, they did 10, Sue did 2,500, okay? Well, that's 2,000 in a donation, all right, that is to be paid out. However, this person over here, they're not qualified to receive this yet. What would happen in most companies? This $2,000 would not go to them. This $2,000 would maybe go to the person that is above Sue that's qualified for this particular level. Or it might, they call it breakage. It might break to the company. John said, no, I want everyone to win. And I don't want to penalize someone because of where they are right now financially, and they didn't have the resources to start here. So this is what John did. John said, this is going to go into a holding tank. This is going to be banked, this 2,000. But he did something even better than that. This 2,000 is now going to be applied to these other levels to get our Plan 10 person qualified through as many levels as possible. So give me a moment. All right. So follow me here. We've got a person that referred to, didn't have a lot of resources. They did $10. Sue came aboard. She did 2,500. Usually the person who did the 10 would get 8, and that would be it. They would have forfeited the 2,000. Not here. This 2,000 goes into a bank. let's call it their bank. All right. That's on hold. But the system is also going to say, wait a minute, you would have earned 2,000. You weren't qualified for it, but we're going to take this 2,000 and we're going to go on and get you qualified. It's going to automatically donate $50 from the 2,000. So we got 2,000 minus 50. Now we're at 1950. It's going to automatically donate the 100. All right. So we got 1850 left. Now, what does this mean for the person that referred this person here? That means that that person is getting a $50 donation, of which 40 goes into their wallet. $100 donation, of which 80 goes into their wallet. All right, we still have 1850 to go. That's going to take care of the 250. We have 1600 more to go. That's going to take care of the 500. That's 1100 left to go. That's going to take care of the 1,000. Okay. So all these donations are going to automatically go to where they're supposed to go. And now the person that didn't have a lot of resources to start with, all right, but they did share. They invited someone to a Zoom, or they sent out one of our transformational nuggets. They got someone to that watched some of our content. That person, Sue, decided to come aboard and had a little bit more resources. Now all of a sudden, this person is now qualified for the 10, the 50, the 100, the 250, the 500, the 1,000. Okay, and I think there was a little left over, maybe $100 still in the bank. Okay. So now when this person brings on someone or has someone connected to them, it could be this second and fourth down here, right? And let's say that person does 1,000. Well, now my 10, my plan 10 person is no longer just playing 10. They're playing 10 and 50 and 100 and 250 and 500 and 1,000. So now they'll make the 800 that will be withdrawable. That won't go into the bank because they're now qualified. Now, do I expect you to get everything I just shared the first time you've seen this? No. This is recorded. All right. Some of you don't need to see all of that. Some of you, like myself, all right, a little more analytical. And so you want to see all of that. And we'll have training on this for those that want it. For those that you don't need all that, here's what you need to know. With Billion Dollar Mind, you're going to learn the 4 pillars of faith. I will tell you, it is having a wondrous impact on my life. I've been dealing with some stuff family-wise that has had the rock, that has had the boat rocking, has had the winds blowing, has had the waves crashing. And now, instead of staying in that state of fear or upset, I find myself, thank you, Lord, for an opportunity to exercise faith. Thank you, Lord, for an opportunity to exercise faith. And I quickly get out of that feeling and that thinking of disempowerment. I think I'm just about finished here. Give me a moment. I'm going to have John to come back on. Okay. Oh, here's what I wanted to show. So the plan is to get everyone at least to 1 million flare. I think that is conservative, very conservative. Okay. So the other day, last week, flare was going for 2 cents. And let's use that example of, give me a moment, of Sue doing a $2,500 in flare donation. Okay. So let's say you were qualified. Sue does 2,500 and you get a $2,000 payout. And flare's going for, at that time, flare's going for 2 cents. Okay. So we take the 2,000 we divide that by the 2 cents, you would have made 100,000 flare with that donation. Okay. This is why I think a million flare is probably understating, especially we're here early. And when I say early, because flare has not gone to $2 or $4 yet. Okay. I would love for flare to even get under a penny. Okay. Because we're in accumulation mode. When you're in accumulation mode, you don't want it going to heaven yet. Okay. Stay here for a while. Okay. Stay down at 2 cents, stay down at 1.5 cents or what have you. All right. Now, so there's 100,000 flare based on it being 2 cents. Now, this is what flare was looking like more like today. So yesterday there was a big downdraft that impacted all the markets, the stock markets of the world, um, the cryptocurrency markets. Okay. But things started to come back today. So flare was up to flare was down to 17 cents, excuse me. Okay. All right. So now let's do this. Give me a moment. What just happened to my calculator? Bear with me. Hold on. Where'd my calculator go? Wrong one. Bear with me. Just about finished here. There we go. Calculator. So I want to show you what happens when the market goes down. I wish I had someone share this with me 10 years ago when I'm promoting an offer where I'm getting paid in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin goes from 515 down to 166, and I stopped promoting because I let fear. All right. So let's say that someone made that $2,500 donation in flare. You were qualified to receive the flare. All right. You got 2,000 in flare, but it's at 17 cents. Look how much more flare you would have earned. Same 2,000 in US dollar value, but a lot more flare. 16,000, almost 17,000 more flare. Now, what if flare gets to $1? That would be, if you didn't cash that out, for usable, spendable cash, that would be an extra $17,000 almost. What if flare got to $10? That would be an extra 170,000 thereabout. What if flare never comes close to 4,000, but it gets to $100? That would be another 1.7 million, because you earned in flare, which looks to be an appreciating asset. That though it may be down a little bit today, and we want it to be down, that means I can buy more flare with the same money. Okay. Make the donation. That means the person I make the donation to is going to get more flare, because flare is down right now and we want it to stay down. So when we go and we look at the price of flare, and if it's down to 1.5 cents, yay. If it's down to a penny, yes, because I'm not looking to convert flare. I'll convert some for usable, spendable cash, but I'm looking to generate generational wealth and do what the book says as we close. A good man, a good woman leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is our generational wealth model. What I want you to do is I want you to get back to the person that referred you to tonight's Zoom. Ask them for their referral link. You're going to register. It's a real simple registration. And then also I'm going to bring John back on here. We'll likely do some Q&A. I'm going to post in the chat room our Telegram channel. You want to make sure you're part of our Telegram channel. So John, how about you come on and give us some words of wisdom? I'll go on and open up the chat. So those of you that have questions, in a few moments, you'll be able to put your questions in chat. Give me a moment. Let's make sure. Give me a moment. All right, John, you should be able to unmute.
Okay. Well, great presentation, Professor, on our generational wealth model. I hope all of you are catching the vision of where this is going. Now, there is still a short window to get some of your people enrolled in the first 1,000 members, and that's a prestigious place to be in a company that goes to $1 billion. I saw myself standing on top of the world's largest network marketing company. I think that's where we're going. I really think that's where we're going. And of course, you did a great presentation on the flare and, the comparison with Bitcoin, where it was back in 2009, where it is now. Actually, Bitcoin started way less than 5 cents. So, but even 5 cents was a great place to start. Flare started at less than 2 pennies or a penny and a half, and that's where it is now. But this is a great time to get started, folks. And we're going to put a great demand upon the Flare coin ourselves. Now, the reason Flare will eventually become such a valuable coin is because it will be the first totally decentralized network. It's an offshoot of XRP, and XRP is slated to become the king of centralized finance. That's where banks send money back and forth across borders. Flare is slated to become the king of decentralized finance, and that's where we want to be. We want to be in the decentralized space. So this is going to be a great place to be at a great time. Again, we don't know what the final price of Flare will be, but the greater the demand, the greater the price. And like Professor said, we don't want to sell our coin. Yeah, sell what you need, to buy food, pay your bills, but hang on to as much as you can. And as these, what we call whales or sharks, they 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 buy a lot of coin and they drive the price up, and then they sell at the peak and drive the price down, and then they buy when it's low and they sell when it's high, and it creates a lot of fear amongst people that are holding that coin. When people that are holding Flare or Bitcoin or any other coin, they see a bunch of coins being dumped on the market and the price starts going down rapidly. Oh, they got to sell quickly, right? They don't want to be, caught holding currency that's not going to be worth anything. But look what happened to Professor. He bought at 500, sold at what, 150?
now,
So
now I need to quickly get back into positive thinking.
so uh, we just have to understand that there's going to be some volatility in the market, but what we're going to do as a group, as these particular people try to drive the price down, that's when we're going to buy even more. We want to take coins away from those people that are manipulating the market. If we can get to a point where we, as a group, we hold, 70, 60 to 70, 75% of the world's Flare coins, then we're not going to see a lot of volatility. What we'll see is just a gradual increase in price that will just keep going up and up and up. And that will give even more people confidence to buy Flare, increase the demand, which will again increase the price. So just our little group alone is going to put a lot of pressure on Flare. We're going to increase the demand amongst ourselves. So to see Flare go to 10 cents to a dollar to $5 to $10, I don't think that's unreasonable at all. And if you're buying at 2 cents and it goes to $10, that's a pretty healthy increase. So we want everybody to get as much Flare as they can right now while the price is low, and don't worry about the fluctuation in price. Anyway, that concludes our seminar for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be back again on Thursday. That will be our official launch day. So please come and join us. Bring a lot of people with you. Let's fill up the platform. And this is the best time, folks, to share with others, because those you don't share with today are going to be sharing with you tomorrow.